You know what fascinates me? Scientists recently discovered that ecosystems can completely collapse from changing just one tiny element. And I'm starting to think our spiritual lives work exactly the same way.
That's such an intriguing parallel how these delicate balances in nature might mirror our inner development.
Well, what really strikes me is this ancient wisdom about virtues working together like elements in an environment. The text described chastity as this protective atmosphere and humility as the fertile ground. It's exactly like a spiritual terrarium.
Hmm. Let me ask you something. How does this challenge our modern understanding of self-improvement?
Oh my goodness, that's such a crucial question. We're living in this quick fix culture where everyone wants instant transformation. But these traditional teachings suggest something completely different, that sustainable growth requires this whole interconnected ecosystem of virtues.
The way you describe that reminds me of those studies showing how artificial environments affect mental health, like how people in concrete jungles experience more anxiety than those surrounded by nature.
That's exactly right. And here's what's fascinating. Historical records show that desert fathers and mothers who practiced these principles reported experiencing natural highs from charitable acts, like their brains were literally rewired for joy through virtue.
Well, that certainly challenges our modern obsession with external stimulation and instant gratification.
You know what's really interesting? Recent psychological studies suggest that self-control isn't actually about willpower at all. It's about creating the right environment for positive choices. The ancient texts were onto something when they described it as a gift rather than a battle.
So you're saying this framework is more about cultivation than restriction?
Exactly. And here's where it gets really powerful. Traditional wisdom suggests that when humility and self-control work together, they create this perfect environment for other virtues to flourish naturally. It's like how certain plants can only grow in specific soil conditions.
The way you frame that makes me think about how different this is from most modern self-help approaches.
Well, that's because we've lost touch with this deeper understanding. Historical records show that communities that practiced these principles demonstrated remarkable resilience during times of crisis. They had built the sustainable internal ecosystem that could weather any storm.
Let me build on that. It's like the difference between hydroponics and natural farming. One might work short-term, but the other creates lasting sustainability.
Oh my goodness, yes. And here's what's really fascinating. Neuroscience is just starting to catch up with these ancient insights. Studies show that practices promoting humility actually increase neuroplasticity, making it easier to develop other positive traits.
That's incredible how something so old aligns with cutting-edge brain research.
And you know what really gets me? Traditional texts describe this process using natural metaphors that perfectly match our modern understanding of ecosystem dynamics. They knew that changing one element affects everything else in the system.
Well, it sounds like we're rediscovering something that was known centuries ago.
Exactly. And here's the kicker. Modern research suggests that people who approach personal growth this way show significantly better outcomes than those following rigid rule-based systems. It's about creating conditions for natural growth, rather than forcing change.
The implications of this for modern society seem pretty profound.
They really are. And as we wrap up, here's what I find most hopeful. This framework suggests that true transformation isn't about willpower or perfect conditions. It's about understanding and working with these natural principles of human development.
That's such a powerful note to end on, this idea that we all have the capacity to create these internal ecosystems of growth.
Well, and maybe that's exactly what we need in our fractured modern world, not more quick fixes, but this ancient wisdom about building sustainable spiritual ecosystems that can nurture genuine, lasting transformation.